The new Black Wall Street. Do it right, build wealth, live life, economic empowerment, real tips, insight on the new Black Wall Street.
Pretty good, pretty good.
It's on the new Black Wall Street. Here's your host.
All right, good morning, good morning, good morning. Thanks so much for tuning in to the Money Empowered Talk Show. This is ERGJ, Certified Financial Educator, founder of New Black Wall Street. And we're back here today to talk about money and power. That's the deal, guys. At the end of the day, we need to talk more about these two subjects. And I believe in the Black community, there is a huge void of money and power. So what we're going to be talking about today is going to be those two subjects. Economics and politics, I believe, are two of the taboo subjects that we've been trained not to talk about, but I think we need to talk more about it. Economics basically is going to be your cash flow. Think about water that's or money that's moving in and out of your life. I consider it to be a river. And then if you think about the river has its restrictions. Well, those restrictions, what I consider to be your cash rules, which will be politics or the laws of the land. So I believe if you learn more about money, then you can actually manipulate money to do more work for you than you do for it. And I also believe if you learn more about the laws of the land, you can get those laws to work for you. So it's all about money, all about power today on the Money and Power Talk Show. We learn more about economics and more about politics and what's going on in the market today. Well, today's episode is brought to you by Wesley Learns to Invest. Wesley Learns to Invest. This is a fiction book that offers a kid-friendly introduction into the stock market and investing. A kid-friendly introduction to the stock market and investing. So you got to ask yourself, guys, how wonderful would it have been for you if when you were in the 5th grade, 4th grade, 3rd grade, you had a book like this, written by a Black author that could introduce you to the world of investing? Well, hey, you don't want to let your children miss out on this opportunity to have this book in their library. See, I understand something that Warren Buffett, who is my mentor, my virtual mentor, he started investing when he was 11 years old. And my question to the Black community is, why not your kids? And so I did do a class probably about a month ago to teach you how to invest for your children. Well, also, you can also read with your children so they can understand the concept of investing and be introduced to the stock market. So this book right here, $20 by Mr. Prince Dyke. Mr. Prince Dyke's a Black author. If you want to get this book, all you got to do is text the word wealth. Text the word invest to 678-851-2400, 678-851-2400. Or you can also find the book on our Facebook page. You can order it right there through our Facebook page, www.ergj. Facebook page there, ERGJ Ent. But then also, we also have our Ankh Light bookmark. You see this thing dangling, right? This is our official bookmark that was custom made for us. And so this right here is a $10 for you to get. It's a nice piece of jewelry. It's got your Eye of Horus there. Got your red, black, and green beads there, symbolizing Africa and gold and wealth. And then you also have on the other side your Ankh, which is there. Kind of is dangling right now. But at any rate, you get this nice bookmark. You can get this for $10. And so here's the deal. If you get the book right today and you get the bookmark, I'll do both of them for $25 combined. So there'll be no reason why you can't support Black-owned businesses and also get some cool stuff at the same time. So to get the book, just text the word LIGHT to 678-851-2400. And if you want to get the book and the bookmark today, then text the word combo. Text the word combo to 678-851-2400. This is a deal that's only going to be for 24 hours. So if you want to get this deal, you must do that. You must act today. Also tonight, just to let you guys know, from Club Millie and also New Black Wall Street, we do have our Dow 30 investment session. Our Dow 30 investment session, where we're going to be diving into the 30 of the most significant stocks in America, companies that you're familiar with, companies like Apple, Nike, Disney, Walmart, and we're going to be looking to see and who's going to move on in our stock market national championship. So if you are a beginner to the stock market and you want a cool place to be able to learn a little bit of stuff about these companies to actually uncover some investment opportunities, well, you want to show up there. This is geared for the beginner. We are in the second round, I believe, at this point. And so we're getting closer and closer to the close of our Dow 30 investment sessions. So if you want to join us, all you got to do is just go ahead and go over to the link there at Eventbrite. Go ahead and get, I think it's $10 to join. And you can actually have conversations with investors. How cool is that? I mean, when's the last time you sat in a room with investors and start talking about investing your money? Most people just won't do it. Most people just won't show up. And then they can wonder why they have not been able to find a way to make their money work for them. Well, just made 3 offers to you guys. Wesley Learns to Invest, the children's book that introduces your kids to investing. Also, the bookmark for $10 as well. The Light, our custom bookmark there as well. And then also the Dow 30 investment session, which is tonight. You want to go ahead and sign up and show up. Sign up and show up. But nonetheless, guys, let's get right into what we need to talk about today, which is our market recap. Let's see what happened yesterday on Tuesday in the market. So yesterday the Dow, oh, look at this. Yesterday the Dow was up 232 points, a good day for the Dow. The NASDAQ was up 41 points, and SP 500 up 14 points. 1% for the Dow is pretty good. And as you guys are just, when we're talking about the Dow, we're going to have a Dow investment session tonight. So you might want to show up. And here's the deal. I mentioned this probably, I think on Monday, how the emotion in the market was in the fearful territory. And I was saying that's a good time to actually be looking to buy. Well, it went from 33 to 46. I'll talk about it in just a second. And so people that actually got into the market on Monday are already up more than likely in their positions because they bought when it was low and they're looking to increase from a low position to a high. Caterpillar had a big day yesterday, up 104 points. Netflix had a big day yesterday, up 5%. McDonald's had a big day yesterday, up 5% as well. Caterpillar was up 8% just yesterday. In one day, an 8% move. And most people are trying to get an 8% move over the whole year if they can. This is what I'm talking about, the type of money that's going on in the stock market that many of us are just not participating in. Riders had a bad day yesterday. Rider System was down 14%. Express Scripts, who I don't know who they are, down 10%. There are about 10,000 stocks in the stock market, so I don't know all of them. I just try to keep up with what I can. Let's take a look at a couple of key indicators as it relates to our commodities and things like that. Oil is now trading at $49.45 a barrel. Gold is at $12.6570 per ounce, and silver is at $17.56 per ounce. And of course, we got to go and take a look at our new cryptocurrency, see what's going on with Bitcoin. Bitcoin is now trading at $12.7375 per coin, up 1.38% over the past 24 hours. They're now at a $20 billion market cap. Bitcoin is on some fire. Now, Bitcoin, as you notice, is trading at a higher multiple at this point than gold. So Bitcoin has overtaken gold as far as its price per coin versus price per ounce. Bitcoin is at $12.71. Gold is at $12.65. So if you want to follow Bitcoin or you want to follow cryptocurrencies, Ethereum, Ripple, Litecoin, Dash, NEM, I'm going to put this link in the comments below so that you can actually, take a look at this stuff. And here's what I got to tell you. Coming up, once we finish our Dow 30 investment session for Club Millie, we're going to be moving into Bitcoin. So we're going to have Bitcoin investment sessions, and we're also going to have Blacks in Bitcoin workshops. So that's coming down the pike at the end of May and early June. So get ready, get ready, get ready. If you are interested in this currency, you're interested in learning about this digital currency, well, that's going to be a place for it. And I would venture to say, I know people want to compare Bitcoin to gold, but I'm more so comparing Bitcoin to Forex. So if you're in Forex and you're saying, well, you don't really like stocks and you want something that's moving faster or quicker or whatever the case may be, it may be a good idea to go ahead and get you some Bitcoin as maybe a longer term investment while you're still trading on Forex. That would probably be the strategy I would implement since you're already in the Forex market. You go ahead and do that. Now, I want to say hello to everybody that's over the New Black Wall Street, that's up maybe at my personal page, Black Enterprise, Black Wall Street Investors, Ninja Trading, Atlanta Black Business Network, Financially Folks, wherever you are. If you do want to interact with us, just come on over to my business page at facebook.com, ERGJ. And you can actually join us and participate with us live. For those that are representing Club Millie right now, go ahead and put in the comments below hashtag Club Millie. For those that don't know, Club Millie is an investment group, and we are looking to help 1,000 people save and invest $1,000 this year, and you could be one of those 1,000. We do actually have 4 phases to our group, and actually right now, up through Sunday is going to be where you're going to get the lowest membership dues ever. So if you want to join something that's going to be forming an investment club, that's going to be forming a real estate group, that's going to be forming a peer-to-peer lending club, and it's going to be forming a venture capitalism firm, well, that's the place that you want to be, because that's where you want to be at the end of the day. So we are doing stuff, not just talking about it. We actually are forming these things and going to be making some noise here in across the globe at the end of the day, because it's not just America. We're looking to invest in Africa. Obviously, we're talking about Bitcoin, marijuana, all these things as well. So you can be a part of something special if you just decide to do something different. But most of us, we know what we're going to do. We're going to keep doing the same thing every day, hoping that we get different results. Well, we're making the opportunity available to you, but you got to take advantage of the opportunity. And all you got to do at this point, just go to www.ergj.net, scroll down to the membership section, sign up, enroll, and let's get going. All right, let's go back and see what else is going on in the market that you need to know today. Hey, what's going on, Lily? Angela's in the building. Let's see what's the emotion that's driving the market right now. There are two emotions that drive the market, guys. It's going to be fear and greed. Everybody put in the comments below fear and greed. So as I mentioned to you on Monday, we were in fear territory. We're covering about a 33 of volatility. We're now at 46, which means we're into the neutral zone. And so we moved up from fear to neutral as far as the emotion that's driving the market, and we see what has happened. We see that the market has jumped up as well over the past couple of days. So as I was saying, I'm looking to buy on Monday. Now I was able to make some positive traction on my money because I looked to buy when other people were selling. And that's the philosophy of Warren Buffett. Everybody doesn't go by that philosophy. That's the philosophy I go by because I follow the third richest man in the world, who says that you should be fearful when others are greedy. In other words, you should be selling when others are buying, and you should be greedy when others are fearful. In other words, you should be buying when others are selling. And I don't know about you guys, but I just want to follow the man that as far as investing is concerned, has far and away been the best investor of our lifetime that I know. So anyway, that's the Warren Buffett philosophy, and that's the philosophy that I've adopted for my own investing style. Let's take a look at what's been hot, what's not been hot over the past 3 months. We do have electronic technology has been hot. It's brought back about 12% to its investors in that sector over the past 3 months. Technology services, 8%, retail trade, 8%. So those are three sectors that's been hot over the past 3 months. Here's what's not been hot. Still talking about the same two sectors: energy, minerals, and communications. Both have not been hot over the past 3 months. Of course, again, energy and minerals is where I'm spending a lot of my time trying to uncover diamonds in the rough, because we know it's rough over there, but we also know there's probably a couple diamonds as well. And that's what I've been looking for as far as what I do. Now, we're going to talk a little bit about we talked a little bit about the market recap. Let's take a look at the pre-market info that you need to know. What's going on, Mr. TV I guess you do some TV entertainment. Lazinsby, what's going on, brother? How are you? Take a look at the pre-market info that you need to know heading into the market today. Big focus on Trump's tax plan. We're going to talk a little bit about this as well, go in a little further detail. We're also going to talk about what's going on as far as the government shutdown, quite possibly. We're going to talk about it in just a second. Again, we talk about money and power, economics and politics. President Trump plans to present his new tax plan on Wednesday. Of course, that's today. Businesses will be interested to see if Trump explicitly pushes for the 15% corporate tax rate he promised during the campaign. We know that he does not always do what he promises. Another key question is whether Trump calls for real tax reform or just fleeting tax cuts. The plan is likely to face a couple major hurdles. Tax cuts are expensive, and Trump risks angering deficit hawks if he hasn't found a way to make up for the lost revenue. Democrats are unlikely to vote for the proposal without major concessions. Stocks may pause on Wednesday as the market waits for the reaction from Congress, who actually has to pass the bill, said Kathleen Brooks, research director for City Index. Boeing's earnings is coming up as well. They actually released its quarterly earnings before the opening bell on Wednesday. The company said earlier this month that the number of planes it delivered in the first quarter dipped this year compared to 2016. We also know Boeing's making a lot of contracts. We also know they're in defense. So we're, if we're getting ready for war, Boeing still is a company they might want to be looking at. Investors will be looking for any comments on Boeing's efforts to sell airliners to Iran. Relations between Iran and the United States have been strained under Trump, who have been critical of the nuclear deal that was signed under Obama administration. The deal made the Boeing sales possible. Earnings bonanza. A slew of major companies will report their quarterly results on Wednesday. So if you guys don't know, we're in earnings season. So we're starting to see a lot of these companies every quarter, they report their earnings, which means they let us know what they did the previous quarter, and they're going to give us a projection or a forecast or an outlook or guidance as far as where they're going in the future over the next 12 months. So you got Anthem, Boeing, Dr. Pepper, PepsiCo, which already reported. I'll let you know what Pepsi did. Fiat, Chrysler, Procter & Gamble are among the firms set to release earnings before the bell. So you got Pepsi and Procter & Gamble and Boeing all before the bell. PayPal and Amgen will follow after the close. So after the bell, or this afternoon, or about 4:30, 5 o'clock, you'll have PayPal and Amgen, who I don't know what they do, will report their earnings. As far as the global market is concerned, U.S. stock futures were flat early on Wednesday. Most European markets opened lower as the French election rally began to fade. Asian markets ended the session higher. Oil prices dipped further below $50 a barrel ahead of the latest U.S. crude inventories report at 10:30 a.m. today. Here's some stock market moves you might want to know about. Kering, the owner of the luxury brand Gucci, shot up 10%. So, guys, I don't know if you guys knew that, but Gucci is owned by a company called Kering, K-E-R, I'll put it in the comments. K-E-R-I-N-G is the owner of Gucci. Oh, good morning. Okay, cool. I thought you do some TV. When I see TV, I thought that meant that you do some TV. Kering is owner of Gucci. So they're up 10% in early trading in Paris after it reported record sales in the first 3 months of the year. So here's some luxury. This is a luxury brand that's still doing well as far as sales is concerned. Wynn, which is the resort, shares were set to open higher after the company reported strong earnings as well. And so today you have Steve Mnuchin is going to talk on tax reform. Twitter is going to report their earnings as well today, and then crude oil inventories report will be out today. Now let's take a look at some of the news that you can use as we head into the market today. It's quite a bit of news, guys. I'm trying my best to go through this. It's quite a bit. Let me let you know what Pepsi did real quick, because I just said I'll do that. Pepsi actually, they beat on demand on healthier snacks. So PepsiCo profits beat on demands for healthier snacks and drinks. What I like about Pepsi over Coca-Cola is that Pepsi obviously has snacks in their inventory. So they're not just a beverage company. They also have snacks like Oreos or whatever they do when you go into convenience stores. So that gives them even more opportunity to get profits. So PepsiCo reported higher than expected quarterly revenue and profit as the company benefited from demand of its healthier drinks and snacks and kept a tight leash on costs. Food makers are investing heavily to develop products to meet consumers' increasing preference for healthier snacks such as unsweetened tea and baked chips. The company said it now gets about 45% of its net revenue from guilt-free products, beverages that have fewer than 70 calories per 12 ounces, and snacks that have lower amounts of salt and saturated fat. So there you go with Pepsi. I'm not going to go into the numbers. I don't want to do that right now. I want to talk about this other stuff that's going on in the market as well. Credit Suisse is raising $4 billion. So let's talk about, look at what this is talking about here. So Credit Suisse is raising $4 billion. Credit Suisse plans to raise $4 billion to help rebuild its finances after 2 years of layoffs and losses. The Swiss bank will raise the fresh capital by issuing 380 million new shares. They will be priced at roughly a 30% discount. So they are selling stuff for cheap in order to raise capital to rebuild their finances. The announcement came as the bank reported quarterly earnings that were stronger than analysts had expected. Revenue for the first quarter was up 19% compared to the same period last year. If you stay on my page later on, I might do something about Credit Suisse as far as where their stock is, what's going on with their chart. So this be interesting for me. I got to take a note for Credit Suisse and then also Pepsi. I'll do both of those today. So they are looking to raise money. They are going to be issuing some new shares, bringing some new investors in to help them rebuild their finances. Here are 5 questions that need to be answered as far as the new tax plan. Everybody put in the comments below tax plan. Kind of need to know about this as well. What's going on, Crystal? Thanks so much for joining. All right, so here's the tax plan information. The question we need to know: how will this tax plan or Trump's new guidelines be? The president already already put out broad outlines for tax reform at least twice on the campaign trail. In them, he called for lower tax rates for businesses and individuals, and tax simplification. Trump also outlined how much he liked to cut rates. In the most recent iteration, he proposed reducing the number of tax brackets for individuals from 7 to just 3, 12%, 25%, and 33%. So basically what they're saying is, hey, if you are earned income and only way you make your money is by getting a paycheck, and you're looking at 3 tax brackets, 12%, 25%. I'm sorry, you're looking at 3 tax brackets for 3 different types of income, and the one that you got to pay the most taxes on is the one where you actually get a paycheck, which is the 33% tax bracket. He also proposed lowering the tax rate for all businesses, both corporations and so-called pass-throughs, to 15%. Yesterday, White House sources suggested he may come out tomorrow and again call for a 15% corporate tax rate, although no mention was made of a tax rate cut or of a rate cut for so-called pass-through businesses, which include everything from small businesses to big law firms and investment partnerships. So a tax rate for corporate or big business, but not necessarily a tax rate for small business, which would suck. Will he call for, here's the second question you want to get answered today. Will he call for real tax reform or just tax cuts? They're not the same thing. Tax cuts are easy. Comprehensive permanent tax reform is hard because it would restructure the tax code and evolve tough political trade-offs to pay for any tax cuts that might be proposed. Now, there may be some people that are watching today who are accountants, or maybe you are CPAs, or maybe you are a tax preparer. I'm thinking of one right off the top of my head, the one who wrote Maximize My Tax Reform Refund. She's probably going to be looking very heavily at what's going on today with tax reform or tax cuts. Given that nearly half the years over and progress has been slow, getting comprehensive reform done in 2017 is virtually impossible. So the question will Trump simply propose tax cuts with promises to do real reform later? And if he opts for tax cuts, how will he propose paying for them? What trade-offs, if any, is he willing to make? If Trump doesn't mind adding substantially to deficits, that will undercut efforts by Republican leaders in Congress to make the changes permanent because of complicated legislative rules. So again, we're getting into politics, guys, tax reform, tax cuts. Here's the third question. Will Trump kill chances for a border adjustment tax? So we talked about this. House Republicans' tax reform proposal will be paid for in large part by a so-called border adjustment tax, which would fundamentally alter how imports and exports are taxed. So guys, if you don't understand what border adjustment tax is, that's basically where if products are coming in, goods and services are coming in from abroad, from out overseas, then there will be he's looking to impose a higher tax for them to bring their stuff to America and sell their stuff. But if that happens, there's a lot of ramifications to that. I can't go into all that today, but if you think about it, you say, well, why wouldn't they just raise taxes for imports that come into their country? So that's one thing to think about, but then there's some other ramifications with this as well. If you really think about where you're buying your stuff from, like, for example, China is a big place where we buy a lot of our stuff from. Shoes are made in China. A lot of manufacturing is happening in China. So if you do a border adjustment tax, which means you're going to raise taxes for us bringing stuff over from China, in an effort to make us, in essence, buy made in the United States stuff, that's going to be a very interesting conversation to have. So the idea has been divided the business community. A large swath are opposed to it, arguing it will hurt American consumers. Like, that's kind of what we're talking about. And the president has hardly been given the BAT much of an endorsement. He suggested he prefers something different that would tax imports, and even mentioning something called a reciprocal tax without much explanation as to what a reciprocal tax is and how it would work. Policy advisors will look to his outline on Wednesday to see if he includes a VAT at all, and if so, how will it be structured differently than the VAT proposed by the House and the GAP? That means prices go up. Yeah, prices go up on everything. What's going on, Lynn? Thanks so much for joining. Hey, how are you doing? I don't think he has a plan. Anybody think that he really has a tax plan? I don't think so at all. What's going on, Lynn? Thanks so much for joining. Say taxes go up for everything. I know that's right. Here's the fourth question. Will he focus first on corporate tax cuts? Someone suggests that Trump and the Congress do reform piecemeal and focus on corporate tax reform first. If that's what Trump proposes, expect big pushback from pass-through entities, small businesses, law firms, things like that, which make up the majority of the U.S. businesses. While they use many of the same tax breaks as corporations, they are taxed through the individual tax code, where the top rate is 39.6%. Small businesses, which include a lot of pass-throughs, worry that Congress will reduce their tax breaks to pay for lower corporate tax rates, but won't lower the top rate for pass-through owners and shareholders much, if at all. And then here's the fifth question. I think many of us are going to ask this. What's in it for the middle class? That's where many of us are. What's in it for us? Steve Munchin said repeatedly that a top priority of Trump's tax plan will be tax relief for the middle class. I don't believe that one bit. On the company trail, Trump talked about big tax cuts for everyone. Through distributional analysis of his proposals, showed the top 1% will benefit the most by far. It will also be interesting to see whether Trump's new outline will call for tax breaks to help families with child care costs. Late in the campaign, he proposed 2, but an independent analysis found that such breaks, coupled with a few other of Trump's tax proposals, could unintentionally raise taxes on millions of low to middle income families. So guys, this is something that you want to have your eye on. I know, talking about finances, reading politics, whatever, is probably pretty damn boring. But this affects your life directly and indirectly. And this is why once you start to get into this stuff, you have no problem going to the polls to vote. Propping people up that are for your community, to speak for your community. See, when you start getting into this type of conversation, you show up at the polls because you get sick and tired of being done over because you don't show up. See, that's what happened this year is that because we didn't have a black man running for president, a lot of people decided not to show up. Say, hey, I don't want Trump, I don't want Hillary, so I'm not going to vote. Well, if you didn't vote, then why are you complaining about Trump? I mean, you didn't even put a ticket in for anybody. So it didn't matter who came in office, you were going to complain anyway. It's almost like you were setting yourself up to complain. It's like, oh, I'm not going to vote, but as soon as I find out who the president is, no matter who it is, I'm going to complain. And that's what's the problem. I mean, you got to do something, try something, but don't complain. I mean, at the end of the day, take control of your own life, take control of your own finances, take control of your own household, and damn what they doing. Pay attention to what they're doing, know what they're doing, but you need to focus on you. All right, so stop the damn complaining, okay? Let's just move on beyond complaining about what's going on in the government, especially if you're the person who didn't even put a vote in. I mean, you could have voted independent. You could have put yourself on the ballot if you wanted to, but you didn't do nothing. But yet you sit at the house and complain and do all your typing that you want to do and let the whole social media world know that you are upset. That makes absolutely no sense. We had Jama Baraka for VP of the Green Party. You know what I'm saying? But we don't. Thank you so much, Nigel. Thanks so much for saying that. I mean, I'm trying my best not to go off this morning. All right. Congress moves closer to a deal to avert U.S. government shutdown. So this is something that's in the news as well. U.S. Congress moving closer to crafting a deal to avoid shutting down at the stroke of midnight on Friday. So the government is in a jeopardy of going into what? Furlough, I guess that's what it's called. But the details of even broader strokes in the agreement will still be murky. Some lawmakers are optimistic they can hammer out a budget bill to take the government to the end of the current fiscal year on September 30th, while others see Congress putting a short-term spending resolution in place for a week while talks continue. Either way, the pressure is mounting to come up with a plan before Friday night. So Friday night is the cutoff for the new deal in Congress. I still don't be understanding what all this stuff is as far as what deal they making with themselves, but it's something going on. I mean, I'm trying to catch up. I know we got some political people who'll be able to explain all this stuff. I wish they'd talk a little bit more. But anyway, if lawmakers do not have one, funding for many federal agencies will abruptly stop and millions of government workers will be temporarily laid off. Now, here's what's kind of important about this as well, because there are many of you who vie for these government contracts and who may have some government contracts. So this is very critical to you, because if the government shut down, you're going to be out of work for a little bit. It's everything that has to do with the government shuts down. So it's not like I'm still going to be able to go work and make my, no. You're not going to work today because the government ain't going to pay you for the days that they haven't reached an agreement with their budget. So keep that in mind. So if you have some government contracts and Friday come, I mean, hopefully you're putting some stuff in place so you can still be working, making some money. You probably got a lot of deals going on. But as far as your government contracts are concerned, they may be temporarily shut off for a couple days, if not a week, if they don't reach this deal by Friday night. So that's something that you need to know. For all you guys that are out there getting government contracts, that's very vital, because that might stop your money for a week or so. As I said, this fuels my passion for cryptocurrency. Taxes that feed the Federal Reserve is all designed to keep you poor and enslaved. And so, yeah, so again, what we're doing, guys, is that when we finish our Dow 30 investment session, which will be done probably about 3 weeks, we're going to be hopping into our Bitcoin sessions to teach you guys about Bitcoin, which is not tied to the Federal Reserve System. And then also to follow that up, we're going to be doing Blacks in Bitcoin workshops. So not only are we going to teach you about the concept of Bitcoin, because that's where a lot of people are they can't grasp the concept of not just Bitcoin, any digital currency, cryptocurrency. They can't grasp the, because we're so used, right? We're so used to this, or we're used to this, right? This is all we kind of know. This is all we all kind of understand is this and this. But what you don't understand is that this is nothing more than an idea. Everybody put in the comments below an idea. This is nothing more than an idea. This is nothing more than an idea. So cryptocurrency is another idea of how to exchange value for value. So let's talk about this for a second. Money is nothing more than the exchange of value for value. So whatever it is that you value, you give in exchange for something of value. And so when we exchange money, we give money or we swipe our card, and that's the value that we give to the merchant. And the merchant gives us something in return, value for value. So you buy something because you value it, and they get something, which is your money, which they value. The exchange of value for value. So now we're able to use cryptocurrency, right, to be able to exchange our cryptocurrency for something of value. And that's a new currency. So it's just an idea. But what we're going to do is we're going to take some time to explain it to you, to make sure that you understand it a little bit further, because Blacks, let me tell you something. All too often, we are the last people into a trend. And we see the trend happening. We see what's going on right now in the world. Hopefully we're paying attention. Some of us still sleep, but we see what's going on, and we see, what Bitcoin has jumped up from $400 to $1,200 in a year. That's 300% in a year. And we're still, and many of us are still like, that's too complicated for me. I don't know. Listen, is it too complicated for you to make 300%? Or you see, some things I don't even need to question or understand. At this point, I just want in. You know what I'm saying? Okay, he said, listen, he said he gave up on Bitcoin and cryptocurrency in 2013 when he missed that spike up. But you're coming back to it, man. And here's the deal, man. Thanks so much for being forthright, man. But we got ATMs popping up, just like the electric cars. You see all the machines popping up for the electric cars, right? So you see that it's not going nowhere. You see that there's going to be more and more. You know there's going to be more and more electric cars, right? They wouldn't be putting up these stations to plug your car up if there weren't going to be more electric cars. They wouldn't be putting up ATM machines in gas stations, Bitcoin ATM machines in gas stations and grocery stores if they weren't going to be useful for people who get Bitcoin. The same way that you saw Netflix popping up their little DVD machines in every place, you could tell right then that they weren't going anywhere. So I don't know what to tell you. I'm trying my best to help you understand it. But what we're going to be doing, we're going to be having Bitcoin sessions, and we're also going to have Bitcoin workshops for those that are serious about making their money work harder for them than they work for them. There's going to be no excuse other than the fact that you just didn't want to show up. You didn't want to learn. And you're going to watch everybody else get rich. And that's what we got to stop doing. Black folk, I'm trying to tell you, how long are you going to watch everybody else get rich? Because of your ignorance. Yes, I said it, your ignorance. And now here's what ignorance is. Ignorance just means unlearned. You're just not educated in this area. And the only way that you can get out of ignorance and into education is to take some type of class, go to some type of seminar, some type of workshop, watch something on YouTube, do something different. I mean, my God, you're sitting here watching everybody else get rich. And my question today, When are you going to choose to participate in the profits of everything else? When are you going to choose to participate? So you got the opportunity. We're going to make the opportunity available for you. And all you got to do is just keep on up and keep on showing up and keep on learning and keep on earning and keep on returning. That's it, guys. So anyway, this Money Power Talk Show made 3 offers available to you. Number 1, you had the Wesley Learn to Invest book. This is going to be a kid-friendly book to teach your children about the stock market and investing. We got our Ankh-like bookmark that you see there as well. This is our custom bookmark. All of these are Black-owned products, by the way. So whenever you buy something, you are supporting your own. You're circulating your dollar right back within your very own community, and you're financing your freedom instead of financing your oppression. And then also the Dow 30 investment session, which is tonight. Registration closes at 6 o'clock. So if you are a beginner investor, you want to begin to learn how to make your money work harder for you, and you work for your money, this is the perfect place to be because we tailor it to the beginner. You begin to have conversation. You can change the conversation at the kitchen table and start talking about money with Black folk. That's what I'm talking about. I don't know that there's anything better than to sit around and talk with Black folk about money. I feel so good to sit around and have my man Nigel, my main lady Kai, Crystal's in the house. We can talk about money. I mean, that just feels good to me. Black folk talking about money. And here's the deal, guys. We have to march with our money. We have to protest with our profits, and we must rally with our revenue. That's the way we are going to rebuild Black Wall Street. That's the way we're going to stop gentrification. That's the way that you complain. You complain by keeping your money out of their pockets. Well, this is ERGJ, certified financial educator, founder of the New Black Wall Street. Just want to remind you of this, that it takes a village. It starts with us. Let's build as we climb together. Have a wonderful Wednesday.
The New Black Wall Street. Thanks you for joining the show. We gave a lot of great tips, but it's time to go. Take the knowledge we shared, hope you use it and grow. We will see you all there at the next episode of